Hi, thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. Today I'm going to go over what mindful eating is, and then we'll do a practice of mindful eating, and I'll give you also some tips that you can realistically practice this during your day-to-day life. So before we get started, I will give you a heads up. I'm going to be using this tiny raisin for our mindful practice. So if you don't have a raisin, or if you don't really like them, not your thing, grab a little bite of something else, maybe a little piece of bread, a little chocolate chip, whatever that thing may be. And again, you're welcome to pause this video and then come on back when you have that ready. So let's get started. So what is mindful eating? We probably hear the word mindfulness a whole lot to the point of nauseam nowadays, but this is a really cool way to practice enhancing your relationship with food. So mindful eating actually originally started because researchers were noticing that people just like scarf down their food and move on with their day. And that doesn't really give our bodies a chance to catch up with our brain when it tells us how full we are, how satisfied we are with a meal, and so on. So mindful eating began as a weight loss practice. It gave a lot of people a chance to kind of pause, notice the food they're eating, recognize what they're putting into the body, and also be in the moment and have awareness as to the food and drink that you're eating. So this helped people lose weight during a whole lot of difficult times when they maybe didn't have that sensation of pausing, waiting, and enjoying their food. So mindful eating is kind of the practice of actually observing what you're putting into your body, and rather than judging it as a good or bad food, like so many of my clients might say, like, oh man, I ate really bad food today, or I should be eating more good foods. Rather than putting judgment on what you're eating, it's this practice of observing. It's a practice of saying, how's this food making me feel? Or what are the signals that this food is bringing to my body? So that's what mindful eating is. It's this idea of kind of pausing, enjoying, and really savoring your food. So whether you're here for weight loss or just general wellness or whatever it might be to kind of improve your relationship with food, this is going to be a really cool way to do that. So we're going to do what's called a raisin exercise. You may or may not have heard of this before. And for me, this is a really challenging exercise. This is the one exercise that we're going to have time to do today together, but I will also give you some more tips of how you can realistically take this exercise and maybe add this to your daily schedule. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and grab your raisin or whatever that tiny piece of food is. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the senses with this raisin. So first, take that piece of food and place it between like your thumb and your pointer finger and start to just look at it. Yeah, look at it. So a lot of times we don't really get a chance or don't take the time to truly study the food that we're looking at. So whatever it is you're looking at, maybe start to notice how the light reflects on it, the colors that might show up. If you need to, kind of roll it around, get some different angles in there. And give yourself some time to truly study this, like you've never seen a raisin or whatever's in your hand before. Like this is a crazy thing, right? And at this point you might be kind of laughing like, this chick's a weirdo, but I know this is a hard exercise. Try to stay with it. So from there, this might be funky. Take your piece of food and bring it to your ear. Maybe squish it a little bit and see if it actually has any noise to it. Like if you squeeze it, what happens? And then bring it back in front of you. Once you again note maybe the texture that food is. Now bring it under your nose and just smell it. Noticing any body sensations coming up. Sometimes for me, it's kind of like that salivatory glands like start to kick on and say like, ooh, I want you. But just take a kind of a sniff. Does it smell sweet? How would you describe it? And then maybe bringing it away from the face a little bit. If you want to, you can close your eyes, roll it around a little bit, and notice any textures that you can physically feel between the fingers. Is your food smooth? Is it soft, wrinkly? Does it have different textures as you roll it around in your fingers? And if you need to, maybe switching hands. And again, notice any sensations that are coming up here. And then when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. And now it's probably the part we've all been waiting for. Without chewing, go ahead and put the raisin on top of your tongue and keep it in your mouth. Maybe roll it around with your tongue onto the roof of your mouth. Again, recognizing any textures and any body sensations that are coming up. Your mind might be saying, all right, woman, let me eat the damn thing. And I get it. Just try to enjoy this slow process. Well, I probably spit at the camera. If you want to, you can put it underneath your tongue, roll it into one cheek and the other. And then when you're ready, slowly take one bite. Hold there and really notice the taste. What came up? Was that sweet? Was it sour, salty, savory? What was that sensation, right? What did your body do? Did your stomach tell you to just go ahead and swallow it? Now you can slowly complete your chews. Taking your time. And then go ahead and swallow what you got. So what'd you think? Weird, right? So this kind of goes to show how we really don't take the time to do these things often. When's the last time that you sat down with a plate and truly looked at your food? Or that you smelled it? Or that you took one slow bite? So this is an exercise that I know realistically, you're probably not going to take one bite of food and then look at it and smell it and hear it and all these things if you're at a dinner table with friends or out at a restaurant. And I get that. So how can you practice mindful eating more realistically? I would recommend that one thing you can do is to involve all of your senses, right? So do involve your smell. Really look at it. Notice the texture. And when you chew, chew slowly. Chewing slowly is going to be one of the best ways to practice mindful eating. One exercise is to just simply put something in your mouth and chew it 10 to 50, yes, 50 times before you swallow it. On average, we only chew like 3 times before we completely swallow our food, which is not much, right? So take some time to really chew. Really enjoy that taste and notice those sensations that are coming up. Whether you start salivating, whether your stomach is like, ooh, baby, give me some more of that. Whatever it is, notice it. Yeah? So some other things that you can do is consider where your food is coming from. Our relationship with food is non-existent largely. Some of us will look at like a pecan and be like, I have no idea where this came from, right? So understanding the source of where your food came from, not just like knowing like that it grew like this or whatever, but think about how it got from farm to table. What is that whole process like? This will give you such a greater appreciation for your food, and it'll also make you want to more mindfully eat it and savor what it is with each and every bite. Another thing that you can do to enjoy your experience is make sure that you love what you eat, yes? So when it comes to weight loss and wellness, so many people will say like, oh, I can't eat this, I can only eat that, and they will label things as good and bad. All food is good. You want to make sure that you're enjoying the food that you're eating, and you want to make sure that you're adding nutrients to your body, of course. But if there are days that you're craving those Oreos or those chocolate chip cookies or whatever it might be for you, as long as you savor that thing, you'll realize that you're going to get more of that sensation and satisfaction out of those few bites because of those chews that you take nice and slowly and mindfully, that you won't be reaching to finish that entire sheet of cookies. Maybe instead you only need 2 that night. So the slower that we eat, the more that we enjoy the foods that we're eating, the more you'll realize and become attuned to your body to recognize, oh my gosh, I am full. Or wow, I feel really satisfied. I don't need to eat anymore. Or maybe instead, that was an incredible meal and you can just give thanks and gratitude for that, which is so, so important, and it's such a huge part of mindful eating. Other tips that you can do is to just sit at a table when you're eating. I know that I am totally guilty of wanting to bring my food in front of the couch or at the couch while I watch a show on Netflix. Instead, try your best to just sit at a table and enjoy your food with no distractions. Actually put your phone away and be mindful. Give that food your full attention. It really is a beautiful thing when you think about where this food is coming from, how it got from farm to table, and how it's getting to your body to nourish you and to guide you through the rest of your energy and through your day. So those are some of my tips. Make sure to savor without any distractions. Make sure to try to sit at a table. Really use all 5 of those senses to cherish your food and think about where that food's coming from. So those are some tips. Again, if you found that raisin exercise super strange, I get it. This takes practice. Any type of mindful practice is gonna take work, right? And again, make it realistic for you. You don't have to sit there and for each and every bite take 20 minutes to just swallow 1 raisin or whatever that is you're eating. So make it realistic, make it work for you, so that way you can learn to savor, appreciate, and mindfully eat your food. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful.